Yo, can y'all hear this shit? This is my first time ever hosting one on desktop. I didn't even know you could do this now. Does it work? How do I turn the music on, dude? I want the music to go for like 2 minutes. How do I do that? Bro, this shit is so jank on desktop. I can't turn the music on. I can't fucking... I don't even know how this shit works, dude. How is this app worth $44 billion? You can't even put a proper, like, fucking desktop space in. Whatever, dude. We're starting it now, okay? Actually, no, I'm gonna give it a minute. I'm gonna give it 1 more minute. 2 more minutes, alright? 2 minutes. Maybe. You know, it's really retarded how I can't put the music on. It's really bothering me. I can't. Normally, like, I'll let the music go and then, like, people will funnel in. This is just a fucking blunder, dude. Oh my god. Whatever, dude. We're starting. Welcome to the State of the Commentary Community Address. Welcome all my loyal listeners here, okay? Everyone, all the biggest fans in the community right here in this J-pop themed space. Look, obviously, let's get her out of the way. Big stream just ended the other day, just yesterday. RFC Mania, 10 days long. It was horrible. It was like watching a street whore fucking debase themselves for fucking some pennies, dude. It was so horrible to watch. Says like the most fucking boring people in this community, dude. You know, what I've been really noticing over the past few months here is this community. People have been saying there's no community anymore for like years and years, but no, there is really no community anymore. I look at some of these other guys watching these other streamers, and I look at these viewers and I'm like, first of all, who the fuck are these people? And second of all, why do they all have sticks up their asses? Like, these Chud Logic viewers, the Nick's new audience, all these people, they're so serious. They're so serious. They all try to be these, like, internet intellectuals, right? Like, I'm above all the other people who like drama. I'm a 30-year-old man, but I look at the drama with a bit of pizzazz. You know, I'm real sophisticated about it. Unlike those other cretins who like to have fun on the internet, there's no fun having here, okay? And that, you know, it's really starting to bother me. And it really sums up, I think the person that sums up this grievance perfectly is Hellbent, dude. This Hellbent person, I never really knew who they were until a few months ago when I started noticing them under Nicholas Diorio's replies. And once I started noticing them a lot. Just, if you go to their account, at least when I last checked, you go to the replies section, Nicholas Diorio, Nicholas Diorio, Nicholas Diorio, Nicholas Diorio. And I was like, isn't that kind of funny? Now, everyone gets their start in this community some way, right? You know, most of us start by replying, and you know, it's fine to stay that way, but the things that this person was saying really fucking bothered me, right? Because it seemed like a glaze fest. It was just constant, like, it was like a female version of Kristen Ark. And let me tell you, if you want to make Kristen Ark worse, there's only one thing you can do, and it's make him a woman. That is the only way to make Kristen Ark any worse. These NPC, like, commentary robots that have, like, overtaken this community. And Hellbent is the prime example of one of them. You know, a few months ago, DJ posted a video or made some kind of comment. I don't even remember what it was about, but I just remember Nick made a reply and like it disagreed with him, and then Hellbent went under that reply to Nick and was like, yeah, you're so right, Nick. Nick, you're so right here. I think a few tweets after that, I blocked them. Because it pissed me off so badly. It made me so viscerally angry to see this stupid bitch just reply guying all day in this community. And it really upset me. Like, when I tell you I got a visceral anger, I'm not lying to you. You know, a few years ago, I might have put in holes in drywall over the pain and suffering that I felt by seeing Hellbent's fucking replies. This person needs to go. I've been saying it for a few months now, and now I'm starting to see it pick up pace here. You know, I don't think Queenan's community really likes them. I think Chud's community is not really a fan of them either. I don't know how they ended up in this position where Nick is seemingly likes them. I think it was just because of the art. They made mediocre art, and somehow it's allowed them to gain some kind of presence in this community. And I found this out a few months ago too, or a few weeks ago. I don't even know. I've lost track of time at this point. You know where this person came from? It all made sense. It all clicked in my head when I found out this person's origins. This person made the thumbnails for Now Recording. Let that sink in. This person was a Now Recording thumbnail maker. I mean, how much lower can you get than that? You're making thumbnail. The only thing you can do worse than that is maybe be Mike the Bike's editor. That might be the only position underneath of that, okay? Now, listen, Nexajed, love the guy, but you gotta stop editing for Mike the Bike. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all. But, back to Hellbent. Fucking Hellbent was Now Recording's, fucking thumbnail maker. So if you ever looked at Now Recording's videos and were like, wow, why are all of these thumbnails so unclickable? Now you know, because Hellbent was making them the whole time. And to be honest, I don't even really have a specific gripe with Hellbent. It's just a general energy. It's an aura that just puts me off so much, and it has forever. And I'm not alone. There's been a slow but steady movement growing behind the scenes that I've seen of people disliking Hellbent. And I think it's gonna overflow. I think we're about to see a fucking commentary riot of the likes we've never seen before because of Hellbent. I think this might make January 6th look like a fucking birthday party, okay? No, but I guess they were screenshotting Nick fucking banning people from chat, and then double agenting into fucking Queeman's chat going, hey, Nick is fucking he's banning all the people who mention you. What a bitch, dude. Honestly. Fuck. Just makes me so angry. And I know there's another person who dislikes them as well, and I'm gonna let them in here now. Spondyle. Spondyle, are you there? Are you there, Spondyle? Are you there? The fuck, bro? I hit accept. Okay, hold on. There may have been a crucial error here that I hosted this on desktop, and I don't know how to use the desktop version of this. Can I invite him to speaker? Oh, now he's gone. Okay, fuck Spondyle. Piece of shit. We fucking hate Spondyle, dude. Alright. I approved him.
Rena.
Oh, there you are.
Does it sound like shit? I'm calling off the glasses.
Yeah, it sounds like fucking ass, but we can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. Dude, this is nothing new, alright? Every year there's a new group of people that are literally just I support the current thing, alright? 2022, early 2023, it was the Paradise people, where they just repeated whatever Nick said, and then also defended pedophilia kind of on the side there, and we're looking at child porn. There was that. Then it's 2023, 2024 was the Now Recording people, where they just all had the weird takes, where it's just oh, here's what's like the current take and commentary, and then also here's like this weird sport drama nobody cares about, where like 30-year-old men are beefing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's Hellbent. Hellbent sucks. You know.
Yeah, I really think Hellbent needs a complete exodus from this community, a forced one at that. I don't think there needs to be any consent with forcing them out of this community. They just need to go. And I encourage every single one of my fans, of my loyal Alex Geckmiggers,
whoa,
get this person out of this community, dude. I want fucking riots on the street saying, we hate Hellbent.
I mean, the only reason she's like outside the now recording thing is because she paid for Jake Weddle's little comedy special thing. It's like, okay, who cares? That's like completely dead topic. Yeah, that was like the whole thing.
Dude, I had no idea.
I know.
Yeah, wait, weren't they involved in the girlfriend shit or something?
Yes. Yeah, no. So she specifically was like friendly towards the girlfriend, who was the one who was instigating all the shit with like the lawsuit threats and all of that. Like, that was specifically the girl instigating it. And then when she was making like fake allegations towards Jake Weddle, Aiden wanted her to come onto like the stream to clarify, and Hellbent and I think Emra too told her not to, like stopped her from just being pushed at all when it came to making abuse allegations.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I also did the same thing to Aiden with that journalist girl, but I think it's worse because Hellbent did it.
So it's different. It's different. Okay, it's different when you do that when it's like a story you're personally involved in, and you're like being friendly towards this person and trying to guide them through what to do when they're like making a serious claim, you know?
Yeah, you know what? I agree.
That's
agree.
like if
there's a distinct difference here, I think.
Let's say a confusing opinion accused the lesbian of being abusive, and like the lesbian's part of it, and I tell him, hey, this person's gonna push you, don't go on their interview at all. That's like a terrible thing to do.
Yeah, did you see what they were doing to Nick? Is she still modded in Nicholas Diorio's chat? Can anyone give me a confirmation on that? Can I get a black hands up if she's still modded in his chat? Because that's an important detail to me. I think Nick needs to shed this girl like snake skin, alright? She needs to go.
We need to just purge like all the women that are like commentary people. We need to get back to like the old wave where we had e-girls doing that stuff, not like 30-year-old women. All right.
Don't bring your disgusting incel fucking behavior into my Twitter space.
Dude, look. Are you saying? Okay. Are you saying?
No, I don't want to go down this fucking path. Okay. We love women, but we don't like Hellbent. All right. Hellbent, no good. No good.
We need attractive women back in the commentary community. Alright? All I can say, I have big plans in the works. We're getting e-girls back, alright?
You've been saying that for many years.
I have been saying that for many years.
Okay, I got an anonymous source telling me that she is not modded in Nicholas Diorio's chat anymore.
Whoa.
So she is gone, alright? It's starting. She's leaving. We're not putting up with fucking Hellbent's bullshit anymore. Alright? And you know what? I think we start bringing this energy to other people in this community. I think Chud Logic needs to be put in his place, dude.
Well, okay, I wouldn't go that far.
I think Chud Logic needs to be staked, like that one fucking kid, like the kid who like likes Palestine that went on fucking Hassan stream, tweeted about the Jews. That's what we need to do to Chud Logic, dude.
What did Chud Logic do?
I don't even know.
Dude,
he's just old.
I agree with his take that like that people are way too shilly for fucking H3.
Yeah, no, he's right about that one.
Spot on.
Listen, if you're gonna undermine every single point I make, I'm just gonna get rid of you, dude. This is a fucking we're not pro anyone here, alright? We're pro fucking commentary and we're pro content. And Chud Logic hated the RFC stream and was super mad at us, so we hate Chud Logic.
Was he?
I don't know.
Dude.
I saw that one clip.
It's the Fenestride rage.
Okay, I'll go back on the Chud Logic, okay? Chud Logic gets a pass. We're fine with Chud Logic, right? But Hellbent's not getting that. Hellbent's gone. Dude, I don't know what else to talk about now. I wanted to shit on Hellbent. I don't even know anything about Hellbent. I just don't like her. She just always had a bad energy, like an evil mojo.
Let me tell you something, alright? I've sort of come to terms with, like, the British people, alright? But, like, I can't stand the fucking, like, weird, like, when they talk like fucking Borat, I can't do it. I can't fucking listen to that. Like, I never watched that Jake Weddle video, because the whole time she was talking, I'm just thinking, like, fucking Ela Klein, fucking murdering IDF children, you know?
Yeah, you know, I really like that animation, because if you look at the IDF Ela animation, the fucking AK or Galil or whatever they were trying to like fucking draw there, it's like completely fucked up. Like whoever drew that has no conception of what a gun is. So I can't even look at that like animation anymore because it's just like pissing me off. But yeah, I mean, what else is really going on in this community? Like I'm seeing like there's some partitions splitting here with like the how do we call them like the anti-DGG like community, like the people who were like the people that like share the same like there's a group of people who like just dislike Destiny and then join this community.
Oh yeah,
I think that they're starting to split off now because of
those people have always sucked. They're like they'll hang around with Destiny who is like always making edgy jokes and shit, but then they get pressed by anything that's fucking edgy at all that isn't made by Destiny, and it's like, okay, you people are fucking insufferable, and you're insufferable now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a great commentary reset actually in the works here. You know, I think a lot of these like new kind of fans, I think they're gonna start shedding off now that like, you know, Destiny's not the top story of the month anymore. Like we're seeing like people like J-Stock. Honestly, I haven't heard anyone say anything about J-Stock until like yesterday. For like 2 months, didn't even think about J-Stock, but now he's like, I think he's mad at Nick right now. So now like he's trying to go viral again. Dude, I don't know.
I don't know anything about that guy, and I don't think anybody else does either. He just kind of is like the guy who's there and hosts other people's beef, you know?
Yeah, he's kind of like a lot of those like guys back in like the internet blood sports people, like those internet blood sports people that would host the streams where the shit would go down, but like no one remembers them.
He's like Doc, but he doesn't touch kids as far as I'm aware. He might, I don't know.
Honestly, Doc was better, dude. Even after the touching kids stuff.
Yeah. Dude, it's like the weird ego thing. It's like, dude, nobody cares about your opinion. Nobody cares about any of our opinions either, but especially that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I had my conversation with him, right? And like, I mean, it obviously didn't go my way because I wasn't prepared, but I think if you were able to like, I think if you look at that conversation and listen to what like fucking Juice Doctor was saying, like,
dude,
I tweeted it out at the time, like the guy wasn't like saying anything. The problem with that debate was I was debating a guy on his opinion.
Yeah, what's fucking retarded
without like all the shit. Like I said at the beginning, like it was doomed to fail, but I did anyways because I'm gonna run. But you can't debate a guy on his own opinion without having like literally like clips and screenshots and shit to like say, hey, you said this, and I didn't have it at the time. So like I would say like, dude, you said I heard like you vaguely say this the other day. And he was like, no, I didn't say that. It's like, okay, that's it. I'm owned. But yeah, What are they even arguing about? Is it like, do you know like what Justicle's mad at him about? Because I think look, Nick's not talking to him now, right?
Well, I know.
Is it still because of the Willie stuff?
Maybe, but the Willie stuff is fucking retarded. It's like Willie's video is like, it was like a meh video, but Nick was like going way too hard defending it. But then these people were acting like it was like Death Metal was bad, like it was spreading misinformation because they didn't get like their 5 seconds of clout off it. Like everyone involved was kind of acting retarded.
Yeah, I think near the end, I kind of like, it's really hard like when you see someone like going like super hard against something, because like you kind of start like defending it and like you might start overglazing it.
Yeah.
It's like I think I might have started doing that a little bit at the end and like when I fucking cut off, because it's like you see energy like going one way and then you want to match with the other like just subconsciously. But like yeah, I mean at the end of the day, I think it was always just like, you know, the video. It wasn't like an in-depth documentary on everything Destiny, everything, but like I think it was a video on Pixie, and I think it served its purpose fairly well for that. Like not like I don't think Willie's videos are like the greatest God's gifts to Earth, on any topic. They're generally more like for people to just kind of click on and watch on stream.
Like, I think the way better video to watch on that is the Ryan Beer one. Like, that was a really good video. But I'm not saying that, like, oh, because Willie made a bad video, it's spreading misinformation, because it's not.
I think even calling it a bad video is just like, it's not the video they wanted. And I mean, I've been there, right?
Yeah,
like with fucking Internet Anarchist video on Boblax. Like, I have like hyper autistic like problems with that video, but I mean, how far can you really go with the video on fucking Boblax for a general audience, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think Internet Anarchist could have done better on even like he could have. I think really he should have put the Aiden like call in there, where Boblax is like, yeah, I fucking set it to manipulate. But I mean, like even without that, like it did a fairly well video. It did a fairly well job at like presenting like the general argument against Boblax, I guess. But like, yeah, I mean, that's probably an example, right? Like when all of us are like so hyper autistic into like the drama, it's easy to like look at any video made by anyone who's not hyper autistic into the drama and be like, wow, this video's fucking dog shit.
Well, it's like some of the people criticizing you. It's like, dude, you're fucking MRAL. Shut up. Just stop talking. Your opinion's worthless.
Dude, MRAL he's an esteemed fucking documentarian, dude.
Yeah.
I remember when I found out that MRAL had like 30k subs and like made like documentaries. I was like, what? Like, dude, for like 3 years I knew MRAL as the guy who like was part of the Dr. Pepper stuff in Tom's server, and then like randomly in 2024 he just popped back up, and like he turns out he's like a fairly successful YouTuber, I guess. I don't even know how successful he was, or how good his videos were. I think. I mean, he had subs. But yeah. I'm curious what the community is going to look like by the end of the year, because, like, fractures are already starting to form. I think everyone's just going to just not have friends. Like, Augie's already going that way. Like, Nick's been doing that for, like, 2 years. Like, Queeman and Chud kind of snuck in. And I guess just the cool kinda too.
Who the fuck is at the end of the day?
It seems like everyone's just kind of like going their separate ways again, which is interesting.
I mean, that's kind of okay. Here's the reality with that. That's like the best way to do it, because every time any of these dramas happen where one of these people does something fucking retarded, it always becomes, oh, you were this friend. We talked about this privately, this and that, and it's always so gay because it's like it doesn't matter at the end of the day. That's the problem with like Boblax. Is that Boblax made everything super personal for no reason when he's literally just acting like a fucking retard.
Why is Aiden? Should I let Aiden in, dude? Do you think he has anything to add?
Yeah, I bet he's got a lot to contribute.
Yeah, let's get him in here, dude.
Except the little purple hearts.
Alright, I hit accept. Did it work?
Yep. Is this PetoCon?
Yep.
This is PetoCon.
How you doing, baby girl?
Dude, you such a great audience you have here. We have
Noam
Sheckelberg.
I noticed you came to tap into it a little bit.
You know, Aiden, what's your take on Hellbent currently? Because I remember the whole thing with the the Jake Weddle girl. You still hold the same take that she's fucking retarded?
I mean, relative to like everybody in this space, no, not really. But like, she's
except me, right? Except me.
Except I don't know what you said in the last few minutes, so.
I was being pretty charitable to everyone. I was giving some real nuanced takes.
Doing like the both sides thing. Gotcha.
No. Really firm but nuanced takes. I think saying that Hellbent deserves to like be exiled from life and shit. Just like kind of down to like middle fence.
I mean, Aiden, you can say though with I don't know if you remember all the specifics, but with that Jake Weddle thing, that was pretty retarded what she was doing, right? Like she was actively preventing that girl from being pushed.
I mean, yeah, she like plays both sides.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing that's happening now, where she's like,
wait a minute, hold on, I need to. Diorio joins for 2 seconds. He leaves. I don't know if he realized he was on his main. And Comment Cop joins.
Dude, it's
the second after he leaves.
Clip that Boblax. Clip that Alberto. All these people.
I've been thinking like, what if he actually was Comment Cop, dude? If he is Comment Cop, then Comment Cop's not one person, because Comment Cop likes my tweets at like fucking like 3 or 4 a.m. EST, or it would on like a
Yeah, he's
working-
Australian. It's obviously
Or
not the same person.
It would make no sense for Nick to be liking at
But-
those times. But what if it was like it was a host of people, dude?
What if it's like
I didn't mean to start this boring sub dialogue.
Fuck you, dude.
What if it's like a
my-
Fight Club type of thing where it's like Comic
Yeah.
Cops Tyler Durden and Nick just like disassociates? It's fucking doing this.
My
Aiden, why'd you
question,
join here? What do
because
you
I
have to
wanted,
say?
because I was. Can I get a word in? I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
whose side do you take? I'm making you pick a side. I'm giving you the ultimatum.
In what?
Pick a side. No more fence sitting from the Reaper.
On what?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude, I picked the right side, dude.
I support Israel's right to exist.
Oh, is that it? Dude?
Cowards. Cowards.
Dude,
You want
know
to know the
what?
state of the community? It's this. It's people
It's
who are
this?
too scared to piss off the rest of the group
It's
chat or the space, whatever space they're actively in. They take the popular position.
All right, Aiden, what side are you on?
anyone,
Hey, Aiden,
anyone
what side are
who
you
has
on, boy?
any nuanced opinion,
What
anyone
side
who has
are
any
you on?
nuanced
Take a-
opinion is a
take a side.
contrarian. What side am I on?
Yeah, what
I am
side
on
are
the
you
side of righteousness,
Oh,
of
yeah?
justice, total Queeman gang, ape Krieg support.
what the fuck
Okay.
is Ape Creek?
We love Hassan. We love Bad Empanada. We stand with Hassan and Bad Empanada. Great people. Very fine people. Problem?
I agree with everything you just said.
Of
Now-
course you do. Of course you do.
Now, since you started talking, Lumpy Willie actually won soon, so I'm gonna let him in here.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear that you agree with me, but
Well, let Lumpy Willie get to what he wants to say. You know, he might have something to say to you.
Hello.
How you doing, Lumpy Willie?
Hey. It's come to my attention that you hate confrontation from the people that you're calling out. Why do you have Hellbent blocked while actively shit talking her and not allowing her to
Whoa!
come
Oh,
up?
wait. Came in here to shit on me?
Let's be
Are
you
you
make a
fucking
good point,
kidding me
Willie.
right now?
Look. We have
you-
to
are
be
you
realistic
joking?
here, okay? We have to. No. Play it here. Look, if we're gonna call out people, we have to stay. What's it called? We have to stay based with our takes, okay? If anybody else was doing what Nick was doing, blocking people he doesn't like, blocking people who retweet like little shitter posts. If it was anyone else in the community, you all would be shitting on this person. You all shit on Boblex for doing the exact same
Hold
thing.
on. Hold
I
on.
am sick
I need
and
you to
tired.
stop. Hold on,
I'm
Lumpy
sick
Willie. I need
and
you to stop
tired
right
of
there.
These double standards
Lumpy
of the
Willie!
community.
Lumpy Willie, I need you.
shut
I
it
need
down!
Lumpy Willie, I need you to shut up for real quick, okay? Because what you've said greatly offended me. You're saying, oh, if anyone else is doing what Nick's doing, you'd call it out. Listen, I've been blocked by Nick. I have been there.
He's been the
But
When,
I have
like,
been
5 years ago?
Probably at this point. Listen,
Yeah, come on.
Nick's blocking has been a point of contention for many years, but I'll tell you this. Greater people than Hellbent and like Queeman and fucking Gisticle have gone after him and failed, alright? I'm not willing to step up to that.
Alright, well, this goes like a.
Right, look at Aiden. Aiden tried doing it 5 years ago, and he's been relegated as the community's like 13-year-old fucking little sister.
Well, Aiden fell off
No,
like when he was 12.
you're wrong.
So.
You're wrong. Not the community, your community. And what you guys don't realize is your little bubble is getting smaller and smaller. Gone are the days of the RFC hive mind.
No,
okay?
listen, I agree.
The
that-
pedophiles,
listen,
the creeps.
The RFC community has been on a downward trend, mostly because the person who has RFC as like their name hasn't streamed in like fucking 10 years. But I don't think that's true for Nick. How many viewers is Nick polling again, Aiden? And how many are you polling?
Wait,
It would seem to me that Nick is on an upward trend.
And okay, do I have to really break this one down for
Break
you?
it down for me. Break it down for me.
Do you think this is like the growth of a genuine community, or perhaps like people that are like tourists for one particular drama?
How many of those tourists do you think will, or how many? Do you think that every single viewer that's found him is gonna abandon him as soon as he like makes another H3 video?
Yeah,
or
that's
something?
it. That's exactly what I just said. Yeah, spot on. Great
I
translation.
feel like even if I feel like he might lose like, even if he lost fucking like 4,000 people, he'd still have 2,000 people in his chat, right?
He would have 1K live viewers, which is good. That's like Chud size.
I think he's a little bit bigger than Chud.
Right now, yes.
In mass and viewers. No, just like an overall kind of. Like
Oh, is that a fat
I think he has. No, well, it was both. I think he has. I mean, This is a gay conversation.
Did you guys know Dioreo's fat? I didn't know that
This
one.
is listen. This is like a glaze fest conversation. I don't like these kinds of conversations. But if this is what you want to do with your time, I think Nick probably has like a better potential to hold more viewers longer than fucking Chud, right? Like he probably like if over natural growth, he'd probably hit like 3K. I mean, he has.
Are
Like,
you?
I think.
Wait, you're watching his streams?
No, I don't watch Nick's streams.
Wait, why not?
I don't like him.
You don't like his streams?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
I think I like more laid back streams, and like I think I mean the truth is, right, I've kind of come to a point where I can come up with my own takes based
Is
on
that really
I
the
don't need to
reason?
watch other people do it. No,
Is
you
it
know
not-
what? All right, what's the reason, Aiden?
Because maybe, and this is just like a crazy idea. I'm
Okay,
just throwing it
crazy
out
idea.
there. It's just a
Crazy.
wild idea. Maybe, your average person doesn't want to watch coverage of the same drama for a fucking year. Maybe the average person gets tired of that after a while.
That's not. I haven't watched Nick's streams ever, but I don't think that's even true because Nick's pulling like 6K when he covers H3 and
6,000 slop-watching, hole-in-brain morons who can't think critically about anything.
Hold on,
they couldn't think critically to save their life.
Aiden, you said most people. Most people are fucking retard, hole-in-brain, fucking like slop enjoyers.
No.
Like,
No. True. What is it? Dude, is Diorio next, dude? Are you guys all gunning for him? Are you gonna team up with the G-Stalker and...
Okay, this is the other problem too. Why is J Stock's name even being mentioned? Okay, people. This is like this is a very like concerted psyop to like conflate like the criticism with J Stock. J Stock streams. Hold on.
I need a clarification.
Hold on.
Is this a serious
J
contention
Stock
you have with him?
streams. J Stock streams to nobody. He doesn't like. He gets like no viewers. Okay.
I agree. Is this a real like? Are you giving real takes right now, or is this bait?
anybody else
How am I
right now?
What have I said so far that doesn't sound?
No. Listen, Is this like, haha, fatty, we're going down, or is this a genuine like?
When did I ever?
This is a real. Fatty going down has been like the joke of the community for like 6 years now. So I need to clarify.
You're the only guy that made a fat joke.
True, dude. Is this a serious point of contention you're having right now?
Yeah, I've made. Yeah, these are my serious feelings.
Your serious feelings are that Nick is pro. What is he too pro Ethan, and that's your problem, and you don't like that?
No, my problem. No,
like
my
drama?
listen. My gripes lie less with the Oreo and more with the side in its entirety. Okay, the pro Ethan side in its entirety. And I've said this before. It just so happens Diorio is the most easily accessible representative of this side in this immediate sphere. But the pro-Ethan side in general, at this point, is just like enabling like what is ultimately going to be like a 3-year fucking crash out. It's never going to end. It's never going to end. He needs to like...
Do you think Ethan's in the wrong?
In what regard? In what regard? Do I think he's in the wrong for wait? Do I think he's in the wrong for when he, by his own words, a rabid fan base of people that are threatening his safety are after him, and he decides to show his children's faces on stream, knowing that this rabid audience is coming after him? Do I think he's in the wrong for that, or do I think he's in the wrong for randomly throwing out allegations that Anissa was like some sort of like a phebophile or pedophile, and then immediately retracting them? But the problem was there was no basis to spout them to begin with. Or do I think he's wrong? Or do I think he's wrong for placing unreasonable expectations upon iDubbbz, expecting him to publicly get involved in one of the most polarized, unhinged dramas of the last few years? And by iDubbbz taking even the most nuanced position, one side would assume that he's affirming the other, and he would have a rabid fan base, whether it be from Hassan's side or Ethan's side after him. Do you think he's in the wrong for that? Yes. I think he's in the wrong for all of those things and more.
I don't even disagree with any of that.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can, but I think there's another side that people can also see, right? Like, this is iDubbbz is like his longtime associate, and he's also been associated with fucking Hassan, right? And when Hassan's community is going after him, is going after Ethan, and like at some point, someone who probably was watching someone's content, or someone who just knew of the situation called CPS, and when he's supporting Bad Empanada, I think it's also kind of reasonable to call upon your friend and say,
Wait,
hey,
can I-
what the fuck?
Alex-
But I don't think that was probably the right thing to do either, because he was obviously, like, that wasn't gonna go well, right? He
Wait,
was
I have
saying,
a
like,
question.
fuck
I have a question. I have a question.
Go ahead.
If you, let's assume a hypothetical here. Let's say you genuinely believe that there is a child that is in unsafe conditions. Even if you're like a moron for believing it, let's say you actually believe that. Okay?
Yep.
Should you call CPS?
Yeah, but I don't think any of these people genuinely thought that.
Well, first of all, we don't know who made the call. Second of all, he was the one making statements that would allude to a fucking moron that is like kids were living in unfit conditions. So it is actually it is totally plausible that some moron on the internet was actually concerned about the welfare of his children and made a call to CPS. Do I think there was reason for concern? No, not really. But
Well,
do
then
I
that's
think
fucking retarded. I don't think anyone should be like okay, Aiden. I really think that your kid, just based on how you spurred it on Discord, I think your child, I think it's living in shit.
Wait,
I don't think that doesn't give me cause to fucking
Wait,
say, to
wait,
go
that's-
call CPS.
wait, that-
You need-
hold
you need
on.
some kind of
Do you
reasonable-
realize what's wrong with the comparison you just made? If I was
You
to make a
didn't
if I was to make a statement to you, if I was to make a statement to you that I'm too lazy to put the food away and all the food is like molding, and oh, this week my kids have become afflicted with some illness that's specifically associated with consumption of mold, then yeah, like you might be concerned on having my kids in unfit conditions.
Dog shit to sit around, or did he say the dog like pooped in the house, which was what dogs fucking do, right? Like when you get a new puppy or you have like an older dog, it's just gonna
The dog isn't a
right.
The dog isn't a puppy, right?
Okay, dog shit in the house, even
You
if
could walk it, or you could walk it, and if it's incontinent, you could give it a diaper.
I mean, yes,
yes,
you can
dog-
do that.
Diapers for dogs exist.
Yeah, I know
yes,
they exist.
believe it or not.
You can do that. But do you think it's a bit unreasonable to call CPS because your dog? You said like, yeah, my dog shit in the house. Do you think that's unreasonable?
But he also said, didn't he also announce to the world that his like kids were afflicted with some parasite or condition that's like associated with dog shit?
Yeah, he did. That still doesn't give you cause to call kids get
So if
sick.
you believe,
Kids get sick.
wait. So if
Dog
you
shit in
hold
the
on,
house. This is like a
hold on.
kind of thing to kind of.
hold on. If you hear a statement,
It's kind of wrong about the Giardia thing, because it's not. I mean, it can come from animals, but it can come from like literally any surface being contaminated all ever.
Yeah, like
I
if
know
you
there
took
are
if
other
it took a
sources.
dog-
I know it's not.
No, but
like,
he said
that's why I said
Aiden's saying that he said that spawned out. He said I think H3 said like the dog shit in the house.
Yeah,
And like Aiden is saying people heard that and then they said, oh, okay, well that gives me cause to fucking call
a
CPS
dog's
because
sick, it's gonna do that.
Dog shit in the house.
Like it doesn't. That's not.
Well, none of us are medical experts. He's saying like, yeah, that some moron might have thought like genuinely the kids are at harm. I don't
Which
think
is
it's
why you
reasonable to
shouldn't.
call
Which
CPS.
is why you shouldn't be
But that-
telling.
I
them.
don't think there was enough evidence to think that. Like, even if someone was so stupid to think that, like, and they genuinely thought it, I don't think it should be like defended either.
What
And
Ethan
I don't think
said.
I don't think it should be. I don't think people should act like it was a reasonable thing for someone to do. Stupid people exist, but if they do something unreasonable,
No,
it's still unreasonable.
I wouldn't have personally called CPS, but for the moron that misinterpreted it, I think it's like I think it's totally partially Ethan's fault. I
No,
think he's
because what
partially to blame.
What
No.
Ethan said, he probably shouldn't have gone into his personal life on the internet, but it wasn't something where it was like
Yes, so he's partially to blame.
a little bit. Yeah, I would actually agree with you there. But it's like a dog does something normal, and then his kid does something normal, and that led to that happen. It's not like something where it's like unsafe conditions in the home. And it's like the people, I'd say like probably the audience is not responsible, but the people who are spreading that rumor, like Bad Empanada, Denims and all that, that was absolutely on them, because they definitely know better that a dog's gonna do that, fucking kid's gonna do that.
What's your criticism of Denims?
Well, Denims platformed it and then just got a bunch of shit wrong.
Like what?
Well, let's see. So when the actual CPS call happened,
Kids' memories?
yeah, that's just entirely wrong. She literally read where it said it.
Yeah, but we're talking pre-CPS call. Like, what did she do that contributed to the actual calling of CPS?
Well,
what
she-
she got wrong after the fact is
She
irrelevant.
platformed Bad Empanada in the video where it was clip chimped at, and just didn't push back at all on the claims.
She was going like, oh, dude, every time I hear about Ethan Klein, it's just like, oh, how is this happening?
Imagine if I played a video, like I have a 1,000-view stream, I play a video that's just some.
That was a good it was a good answer. That was a good answer because a certain someone, we're not going to name names, a certain someone in their video said that Denims encouraged her chat to call CPS. Now, I personally, you're right. You are totally right. I wanted to see if you were going to answer.
Did they verbatim say H3 said that? Wait.
No, not H3. Not H3. A certain creator promoted by the pro Ethan people by the name of Cameron F305.
Oh, that guy.
In his content cop.
Hate that guy.
In his content cop.
We hate that guy. I hope you know it.
No, we hate him now. We hate him now. But then I go. But then I go.
The video when it came
but then
out.
I go. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
We
all right.
always hated.
All right.
Although I hated it because it was boring, though. I didn't catch that detail. Yeah, I mean that's probably you could. I guess you can criticize Ethan for promoting that video, I guess. But I mean, it's not that strong of a point.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Ethan himself saying, which even Ethan, I'd agree that that's a dumb point to make.
I think it's a pretty big deal to like accuse someone of encourage, like if the implication or what's being stated is that the CPS call was false, okay, to then say that Denims encouraged the chat to make that call, you're alleging that Denims was encouraging people to like waste the time of CPS, which is a pretty big accusation.
I don't think that's a fair attribution. I think that what she did was just played a video that was just completely slanderous and didn't push back at all.
And wasn't yes, I agree. That would be the yes. But then that comes down to my other criticism of the pro Ethan side, which is just like, and it's the same problem with the snarkers on the anti-Ethan side. They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, and in the process they're getting shit wrong. Okay, Ethan did it the other night with Anissa, and it is this will never, like, let's just be clear, if Ethan is gonna respond to every like 50 viewer like fucking Andy that mentions him on his Instagram account, this like will never end. We'll be talking about this 3 years from now.
I think when it comes to like just like purely Ethan versus Hassan as like two things, I think Ethan's like way more in the right, but I think Ethan's done a bunch of stupid shit that he just doesn't get called out for. I think like the whole like snark thing, it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of deranged people on here, but it's like a subreddit. Like anyone can post on there. It's not like some coordinated thing, really. It's just.
What do you guys think about Ela Klein's IDF service?
Hold on. Okay, do you have like a timestamp of Cameron saying like, yeah, she fucking promoted. She what you said encouraged, right?
Encouraged. Yep. Yeah, I don't have the timestamp on hand.
No, if I look up encouraged in this video, I'm not trying to like gotcha. I want to see the clip because I looked up Denims, and there's one that says like. There's one in the transcript that says Denims who have promoted malicious misinformation that has directly led to real-life harassment. That one's at 6 minutes. This one's not related to that. This is the panel. And of course, Denims reacted to it and promoted the idea of CPS. So, promoted the idea of CPS being called through her chat. So, I want to see what it says here. I'm watching the clip. That's really correct. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't show a clip of her like promoting CPS being called, so that he's just like, I guess
she didn't do it.
Yeah, so that's like a retarded point. I don't know if you could. I mean, some people might think that's just like
another retard.
I think this is like, you're correct. I think. I mean, it's like a bad thing, I guess, but I think you could also break it down to like a miswording. Also, I don't know if it was a malicious lie, right?
Yeah, his video was very poor and like all around.
Yeah, and I mean, I've criticized the video for being.
Okay. There's the other.
Hold on,
there's other like big talking points that are just like really stupid. Like everyone's like, look, Anissa said she's 8% Arab, therefore she can't be half Lebanese. Not realizing that like Lebanon is a nation. It's a Lebanese is a nationality, not an ethnicity, and Lebanon until the 1940s was under European colonial rule, so Lebanese people are mixed, and it's totally plausible that she had a father that is mixed Arab and European, and culturally Lebanese, which would
But she's self-identified as only 8% Arab, and she's Canadian.
Yeah.
She's
well, yeah. So wait. But how is that like contradictory? How is that contradictory to the statement of being half Lebanese?
I mean, it's like, okay, you're from Canada. You don't have that much, like, you're taking 8% Arab, like, genetic.
No, but it's not like she's 8% Lebanese, because it's a nationality.
No, not letting me finish, Aiden. Fucking stalling out. She is using her Arab, like, identity for that, not just being Lebanese. It's like, that was the whole thing with that, and she's barely Arab. Just because her nationality is Lebanese doesn't mean that.
Wait, hasn't her statement, like, when it's been invoked, hasn't the statement been that she's half Lebanese?
I think in iDubbbz's video, yeah, but other times I believe it was Arab.
Where?
Like on Twitter and shit.
I mean, there's that one Discord screenshot,
yeah,
right?
But that's her. Wait. That Discord screenshot is the thing we're talking about. Her admitting to being 8% Arab. But Spondell's claiming she invokes some sort of Arab identity to like have some like sort of credence to what she's saying. So I'm asking like when she's done that.
Well, I mean that's literally. I mean, okay, even if you want to go into this, she's talking about her her Lebanese nationality for like talking about the oppression and shit like that. And she's from Canada, so I don't, like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's that got to do with anything at that point?
Wait, hold on. Why is Queeman not allowed to speak?
Oh, he can come in. I don't like letting, like, I don't let people in here when there's, like, a discussion. I'll let him
Oh, come on, man.
I'll snuggle him in, too. I didn't want to like I don't know if he's for you or against you. I didn't want to like add people in here when there's already 2 people.
He's against me.
I didn't want to like fucking rape you or something.
Hey, Alex, you're falling on the sword, dude. You're falling on the sword. That is useless. Dude. That is so sad.
So
the 8% Arab thing. So that was brought up in response to iDubbbz's content corp, where he said, basically, that the whole premise of this drama is Ethan and Healer saying, you lefties don't give us enough empathy, because we're from Israel, so of course we like Israel. That's the whole premise here. So Ian basically responds, well, you're expecting Anissa or I to speak up on this drama, when obviously, like, Anissa's got a lot of feelings about this sort of thing, has been told a lot of things about Israel growing up, because she's half Lebanese. And people take issue with that presentation of half Lebanese by saying, well, actually, on your 23andMe, you're 8% Arab. But that's not actually responding to that point, because as Aiden said, Lebanon was under European rule. Many people in Lebanon are mixed between Arab and European. And if your dad was born and raised in Lebanon, you would refer to yourself as half Lebanese.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So it just doesn't make any sense for everyone to suddenly turn into like hard geneticists when it comes to race. Like, I understand what it's like saying, you know, I don't know what a comparison would be, but like saying someone's not American because they're, you know, fucking German or something. It's like so retarded. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and ironically enough, this same argument can be used by like the anti-Israeli crowd, because yes, there is like a level of indigenousness to the land by people who are ethnically Jewish, but because of like mixing or whatever, the percentage, I think, amongst like Ethan's Ashkenazi, it's not like they're 100%, like they're only partially, like, the DNA is only partially native to the Levant. So, yeah, like, we're talking about a nationality here.
One thing I just heard you guys saying before I managed to get in to speak was about the CPS call. Now, I don't think the person who called was likely reasonable. I think it probably was malicious. However, one thing you guys were kind of missing out was that while Ethan said he was joking about a minute later, he didn't just say the dog shit in my house. He went on extensively about how you would have to eat shit to get Giardia, and specifically, you would have to eat his shit, is what he said to the crew. So,
I think the spread, like, I think for him to spread Giardia to them, they would have to.
Yeah.
So,
I think that.
So,
I think
while I think it was done maliciously, I think you should behave as a content creator who has 50,000 current viewers as if there are crazy people watching you, and not say things that could implicate the safety of children.
That was probably, that one I'd say is on Ethan, if he was saying, like, because that's not true, what he said. So.
Yeah, exactly. He said it was a joke afterwards, and that's not true about Jardia. And you could figure that out if you looked up. Like, if you were truly concerned about these kids, you could just go look up, like, how does Jardia spread? And you could know that this isn't necessarily true.
I just think...
But the reality is you've given people that rope to hang you with.
Yeah.
When you go out on your podcast, you say that.
The whole point iDubbbz made about how it might have been a concerned audience member at the time, that's just entirely unlikely. Just based on, like, the spacing between the clips, that's just, like, you'd have to be, like, lying legitimately if you believe that all of a sudden...
You'd have to be someone that's concerned enough to call CPS but not look into it at all.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think it's entirely
snark as well. Like, blaming it on any specific community or content creator or something like that when we don't have clear evidence for who called them. I think that's kind of fucked. I don't think... While I agree that Denim's, like, probably spread misinfo or something, I don't think she did anything that's particularly far outside of the range of normal content creator stuff.
Yeah, not anything beyond what Ethan himself has done in, like, regards to the extent of, like, uncritical platform.
Yeah, Nick's done what whoever's done. You know, everyone has played videos where some other content creator is making unverified clip chimp claims, and they haven't done their due diligence in checking it.
I think the problem with it, with specifically Denims, is just, like, there was no, like, questioning at all. It was just like, yeah, this is, like, a definitively true statement. And I feel like most other streamers know that when you're making unverified claims, like, or you're listening to unverified claims, you have to put a grain of salt on them, at least in some capacity.
Well, I don't think Denim's ever actually made any firm statements about Ethan. She saw, like, Bad Empanada's video play and sat there going, like, whoa, Ethan's so crazy, whoa. Yeah. So, like,
that's in turn sort of confirming. It's not like her saying, well, if this is true, it's her saying, wow, this is bad. Wow, this is
Wait,
bad.
but hold on. This, like, yes, this did this, we don't know if this is what resulted in the CPS call, but let's assume for a moment it did, right? The action, or the thing that she'd engaged in isn't unique, and I can even invoke Diorio as an example. When Aristocracy was, when the skulls got sent to Ethan's house, Aristocracy tweeted out, or replied, the 2 skulls, Ethan has 2 kids. This is clearly a threat against his kids. And, like, Nick was like, wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Kind of responding uncritically in the same way that Denims had initially responded to the Bad Empanada claims or whatever. Of course, upon realizing that Ethan does not have 2 kids, he has 3, the replies in question were deleted. But this is something that happens, like, quite frequently, and Denims didn't engage in
that. Do you think there's a difference between engaging with the tweet and being like, wait, and then, like, watching, like, a video that's, like, dedicated to spreading, like, yeah, dude, his kids are, like, eating shit.
I think it's worse with a tweet.
These are 2 different kinds of situations.
I think it's worse with the tweet. I think it's worse, actually.
And then you're fucking retarded. Holy
I think
shit,
it's when you look at something
stupid.
that's like, okay, it's like, here's something bad that happened, and here's someone saying something that's sort of like, it adds to it, but it's really not, like, it's on kind of nothing burger detail at the end of the day with, like, what it is, which is, like, skulls being sent. Whether or not what that's in reference to.
Also, it's like, you're not actually, when that statement's made about the skulls, we don't know who sent the skulls, so the statement isn't actually being made about any specific person.
Yeah.
Whereas in the case of Denims and Bad Empanada, they're making specific statements about Ethan, and they are potentially actionable. So I don't think it's comparing the tweet to the shit-eating videos.
One's like an interpretation, the other one's just someone making, like, definitively untrue statements.
Well, I mean, Aristocracy did make definitive.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Well, yeah,
but yeah, Nick just sort of, like, wasn't that sold. I don't really blame Nick for that tweet. What I do blame Nick for, however, is constantly saying he doesn't get involved in the politics of stuff when he's constantly making statements about politics. I'm sick of him saying he only covers the drama when day 1 of the shooting, literally hours after the bodies were fucking, taken to the fucking morgue, this guy's on Twitter saying it's a disgusting anti-Semitic hate crime. Which it wasn't. The more evidence that comes out, it seems like it was not a hate crime. It was a terrorist attack, but it does not seem to have been a hate crime.
Yeah, I mean, that's retarded. I don't watch all of his coverage. I don't watch most of it, but, like, even when I watch a little bit, he's making statements about he might not, like, go into, like, Destiny fucking Wikipedia research, but he's obviously, like, talking about the fucking conflict, right? And he's talking about the politics.
Yeah.
That's just retarded. Although, do you think it'd be reasonable to interpret that as like he's just like he's not gonna like debate Palestine with someone? He's not like gonna like go into like a deep like fucking like research arc onto it. He's just gonna like make a statement and then
passing judgment on parts of the drama that require you to understand a piece of the politics.
Was that like the debate?
What do you mean the debate?
He didn't cover it, right?
In the debate, yes, there was lots of stuff like that. Yes, but it's not just that. One of the fundamental issues here at play is basically, is Ethan a Zionist? The lefties think he is. He felt like he wasn't at the start. I think he claims to not be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard Nick say he's not a Zionist. He's just not pro-Palestine enough for them. Yet the other day I speak to Lonerbox, and Lonerbox tells me, no, absolutely, Ethan's a Zionist. So, I wouldn't say I think Ethan's a Zionist. I don't know enough about his exact, like, true beliefs. It's hard to tell from his show when he's just spending all of his time crying about Palestine activists. But the idea that his top guy is calling him a Zionist, yet all of commentary, or at least Nick, has rallied behind Nick's. No, Ethan's not a Zionist. These lefties are crazy. That's like a very key part of this. That's like what it's all built around. But for some reason, with any critical analysis that has been completely thrown out.
Well, I think it's because, like, overall with the drama, it's sort of this overlap between drama and politics with it, because it's on a political streamer. And so it gets into, like, people who aren't informed in politics having to get into it, and they say shit, and they probably don't know exactly what it means, and it's on them for that. But I think that's, like, the whole thing with it. Like, Lonerbox is definitely way more politically informed about that type of shit compared to Nick, just in general. And I guess Nick shouldn't make, like, such hardline statements about it. I think Ryan Beard, he's making, like, a video that's going to criticize Ethan for, I guess, his, like, Zionist positions or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess my response to that would be I would want like Lonerbox to explain why, or like preferably I'd want Lonerbox to go down like a list of questions to Ethan, and like at the end, if he has like 90% of them, he's like, oh yeah, you hit the Zionist checklist. Because I feel like Zionism has been thrown around like a bunch, and like, you know, sometimes like obviously like
someone's a Zionist. What he's saying is that they believe his bare minimum is that you think right now Israel should be allowed to maintain its Jewish majority in its borders. That's like the baseline of that's like the least you have to be a Zionist. I disagree with that definition. I've got a higher standard for what I think a Zionist is, because if you say that's a Zionist, then Arafat was a Zionist because he believed in a two-state solution where Israel had control over the borders and had control over it. But it's not like here or there. My point is more that there are a bunch of people going around saying like super flattering statements about whether he is or isn't when they've got no fucking idea. And like
I guess you kind of just said it, right? Like you both have different definitions of Zionist, or like the bar to reach it. So do you think like Nick just like has his own definition? He came to it like off stream, and he's just not going to go into it on stream?
No, I think Nick is purely just playing the Ethan side.
Well, I just want to clarify so it doesn't get taken out of context. I wasn't also super critical of Nick for the Skulls reply. I was making that as a comparison for how the uncritical kind of like instantaneous belief of false claims like is something that commonly occurs. Not that I think that that's like some exceptionally bad thing, but it fucking happens, and to act like, you know, Denims is like an egregious person and to blame as a result of this.
I think they're like different situations, and I don't think they're directly comparable. But I mean,
just because
not even directly comparable. I don't think they're like the same. They're obviously not the same. Hold on. I don't think they can be used as like an example to like say, hey, look, Nick does this too, or like I don't think.
Well, if the point is a reply to false claims without criticism, then yes, the two things are comparable. If you want to broaden the scope to say
broaden it so much for like it's like retarded, you can, but I think
that's not really retarded. That's not retarded at all, right? Because it's the same mindset. It's the same exact mindset involved in each instance.
I think if Nick was watching a video and like someone was going into like, dude, Ethan has two, like this was like a main point of a video, and Nick didn't he was like, wow, dude, is that true? this would be a comparable situation, but it's not. It was one tweet, and it was like,
No, it was but the mindset. Right? But the point is attesting to the mindset and how this is something that can just very easily happen, and the mindset is the same for both.
I think Nick would look into it more if it was a main point. I don't. The mindset.
Was she presenting it? Was she presenting it as a main point?
Wasn't the whole video? Wasn't like most of the video dedicated to fucking this kid shit? Like this was like a main point of the video, right? Of the bad Denom's video, which she platformed and like just like watched. And was like, wow, dude. Wow.
I thought you meant the main point of Denom's contention with him.
Hold on. I think we're getting mixed up here.
The main point of the aristocracy tweet was that Ethan has 2 kids, the 2 skulls are a threat as a result of this.
Yeah, that was the main point of that tweet, but this wasn't a right.
Yeah, so you're saying Nick would be more critical of the main point.
Argument and all in like a video that he wasn't like watching. He pulled it up on stream and was just like, wow, is that true? And like pull it off, right? Like, and like if he found out later, dude, it wasn't true, he'd be like, oh wow, I guess I fucked up, right? Like these aren't the same.
Okay, if you want to say the
video. It just, if like, you want to say that and then didn't, and then
wait.
Oh, go ahead.
If you want to say they differ in how they'd handle knowing that they got it wrong, sure. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's very easy. It's very easy.
I'm saying that like I'm 100% sure if this was like a main point in a video, and then like Nick would, because this is just a tweet. He's obviously not spending like.
It is not. It is nothing. It doesn't even.
Amount of time.
Wait. You realize also as well. I brought that up. And the example still works. I'm not backing away from it, but I brought that up as an example for something that I think everyone has done. If you cover shit, I think everyone has done that at one point or another.
I think if Nick was watching a video that was making like slanderous points, he would fact check it live. I don't think Denom's didn't do that. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not making a point about dude, you're so autistic.
We're talking about Diorio.
No, that was an example to prove that this is something that happens. That was a specific example. I could go and find another one from someone else if you want. That's not a character testament to Diorio specifically.
I don't think it's a good example. Because we're talking about Diorio, and I don't think that example...
Okay. The variables that you're bringing up in regards to Diorio would like make sense if I was using this to like bash his character. The point was that this is like something that commonly occurs within the space of coverage, and I agree it shouldn't happen, but to act like it's some exceptional bad is, I feel like, a little stupid. And Diorio was a specific example. The example for what I'm trying to...
Examples of like people watching like slanderous videos on stream and then like just eating the slop up, because I'd agree with you that those creators are as bad as Denom's, but that's not what Nick did.
Sure, it didn't like half the community like watch the guy who made, and this wasn't just a Cheeto, by the way, it was multiple people, but didn't like half the community fucking talk about how Sniper Wolf DMCA'd or copyright claimed this kid, and it turns out that just never happened, and everyone just accepted it as fact because it was Sniper Wolf.
I don't remember who covered that or who said what. I know Cheeto did it. I know a bunch of
Cheeto, Dumpy, Sense of Society, and then I think there were a few people I think there were a few others as well.
Yeah, and that was bad.
Yes, but yes, I agree. Yeah. But my point is,
criticizable.
Yes, completely.
Well, then what are you saying about Denom's?
Is that this isn't some like exceptional thing like to her. This is something that actually happens like pretty like it's like actually fairly common.
Yeah, I think people who
we should criticize it absolutely, but to blame her, but to blame her for the CPS call, I feel like is like a fucking.
I mean,
jump.
Aiden, okay, hold on.
I think it's fine.
I feel like your comparison's kind of shit though, because it's like, okay, one is like a commentary subject, Sniper Wolf doing like copyright abuse, and the other one is like a way more serious thing. So it's like covering one kind of passively compared to another is very different. Like I'd criticize all those people for the Sniper Wolf thing, but at the same time, I care about that a lot less than like Denom's doing.
Well, I mean, like, people were saying that Sniper Wolf should like be banned and shit.
Yeah, that was right.
That was just,
also that is a crime. That is illegal, right? What she was being accused of, right?
I forget what I was gonna say. I think
you're never. The two comparisons are not always gonna be fucking identical. Like,
no,
yes,
obviously I know. I don't think they're within the same realm.
The sniper wolf shit in denims?
The sniper wolf, because I think there was a
yeah, you weren't satisfied with the Diora comparison, so I brought up another one to prove the point that the uncritical coverage of certain claims, whether that be on Twitter or, as I brought up another example, on YouTube, is something that actually happens quite common, and especially in this community. That was my point.
So is your point that? So your point's it's not uniquely fucking.
It's not unique to denims, no. But can we criticize it? Absolutely. But to say that,
I'm so confused because I don't. Are people saying that? People aren't saying that. This is like, dude. This
with
is
the people are no.
But there's definitely an attitude where it feels like standards have been warped, where we now place like endless responsibility on these lefty creators for things we wouldn't place responsibility on ourselves for.
Yes.
So I'm sure plenty of us have made comments like, oh, this Bowlights guy is fucking insane. This guy needs like a wellness check or something. Or this guy's been on suicide watch or some shit like that at some point. If not about Bowlights, then about someone. But in this situation, because something bad ended up happening, that's a big problem. Like, you could even say on like KF, I'm sure people accuse Keffels of being like some fucking groomer or some shit like that, or saying like, oh, this trans person probably talks to kids or whatever. And you could easily build up sort of like an image where someone might use that as sort of like schizo fuel to go and swat her. But then we wouldn't place the burden for that swatting on all the people that were talking about it beforehand. And we didn't when that happened.
Yeah, that's an
Snark,
interesting example because I think like people like Big Bungie call Keffels a pedo, right? And people watch those videos on stream. But from what I've seen, most of like the bigger creators, or at least people like Nick, they've always gone out of their way to clarify when they're covering that kind of content. Okay, I don't think she's a pedo. Right?
Nick was just an example, dude.
But we're talking about Nick.
Oh my.
And we're right. Like Nick, you said Nick is like the fucking like, he's like the big face of like this broader like.
Okay,
yes, but that was in a separate conversation. We've had multiple conversations and throughout the course of this broader discussion, and then when I brought up the example, I said we can even use Nick as an example of this to show that that was just an example of a behavior that's like common and not specific to Nick. But you're like getting autistically like hyperfixating on that one on that specific example. So then I gave you another one.
Okay, I'm gonna try and build up sort of like a comparison for you here. Like Keffels, like so she gets accused of like this exact phrase we used, right? Keffels gives bathtub HRT to minors.
Yep.
That's not technically true, is it really? She doesn't give bathtub HRT to minors. It's not bathtub HRT. What she did was she had a website that had a DIY guide on how to order HRT from different sellers in different countries, and also how to mix it yourself. And she gave access to a wiki that allowed you to see that information. She didn't give bathtub HRT to minors, and actually giving controlled substances to minors would be an insane crime. However, we were all okay with that presentation. But if someone say gets on a video and says, Ethan Klein's house is full of shit. His dog shit everywhere. Look at all these clips of his dog shitting everywhere. Look at him saying that his dog shit everywhere. His house is covered in shit, and you have to eat your shit to get giardia. That's all of a sudden the big problem. If you say Ethan Klein's house is covered in shit, and we would now place responsibility on you for something bad that happened, when really those two claims are actually pretty similar. It's building off of a basis of truth and statements made by the person to create a more malicious, direct criticism, right? But
yeah,
I think
that's fair.
We have a symmetry of standards in those two cases.
I think that's a fair comparison. That's fair. I've said I think the whole like H3 glazing is like cringe. I got caught up on the Nick stuff. I mean, I think I think a part of it is kind of like the reaction afterward as well, right? Like, do you because like let's say Keffels got swatted, and like Keffels did get swatted, and like a bunch of people weren't like celebrating that, I don't think, or at least not people in this space, right? And I guess that's just there probably is a double standard, I guess. I don't know. I haven't been tapped into this H3 stuff in a while.
They denounced the CPS call, and I think like Bad Empanada obviously celebrated it, but honestly I don't like. I'm unsure why Ethan is even mentioning bad empanada, it seems like a very like a losing strategy, and he's only going to get bigger from this. It doesn't seem like YouTube's banning him, so.
Yeah, I said bad empanada kind of won because you can't really do anything to him. People who've like ran from him for years are just like saying his name now. I'd be curious to see how like I guess people like Nick would respond to what you're saying. I don't know enough about the situation at this point anymore to be able to like combat what you're saying. So it all sounds fair to me. I'd be curious what he says. I don't know. I guess that's where I'm kind of. I feel like the H3 glazing is cringe. I think. Because I have a bad impression of him from like years ago, and the way he acts nowadays is like also cringe. Like I think that all the tactics he's using are like the same shit we kind of didn't like back in the day. I think what people would say to that is like, well, the people that he's doing it to also did this shit to people. So I think like that's kind of where a lot of people come from. I think
when I could be crazy here. I could just be forgetting a bunch of shit. Hassan has definitely defamed people, smeared people. Has Hassan ever done like sponsorship campaigns, like trying to target a specific sponsor or get a specific person banned, or?
I can't name a specific example right now. I don't know.
I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
The only thing I could think of was the only thing I could maybe think of was if he was involved in the gambling stuff. That's not exactly the same thing.
He was making comments about gambling, but
it's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. I think saying that gambling promotion should be banned from that is a very different thing. It's like saying you shouldn't be able to promote heroin on Twitch or something like.
Yeah, I mean, I've never liked the whole sponsorship brigade shit. When Ethan did it in 20, that's part of the reason why I don't like Ethan. I think how he acted in 2020 was like fucking insane, and like people kind of forgetting that nowadays. But I don't know, like I don't like Ethan. I'd be curious to like some of the stuff you're talking about with like the double standards and stuff. I think that would be an interesting conversation with people who are more informed. Because obviously I can only kind of go based off what I've seen on Twitter clips.
If you don't want to talk about the Ethan stuff, when I joined, you guys were talking about J-Stalk and Hellbent. So what's going on there? I heard you guys were wondering why.
I just don't like Hellbent. I mean, there's not a big like fucking there's not like a big thing on it.
You people like safe targets. I find it very hard to believe you agree with
targets.
I find it very hard to believe you agree with Queeman on every single point.
Hold on, on which point? Okay,
what do you disagree with Queeman on? What do you disagree with Queeman on?
What do I agree with him on? I like
disagree.
Everything he's saying sounds reasonable to me, and I just said I'm not.
So there's not a single position you've heard him give on relating to this drama.
It all sounds reasonable.
So you agree with him on everything?
I wouldn't superbly agree with everything.
Okay, so what do you not agree with?
I don't think I disagree with anything at the moment because I don't have the information.
You people are cowards.
You fucking retards.
You has retarded opinions because I'm the.
Bro, you want
it's okay to shit on me. It's okay to shit on Hellbent. But then Queeman comes in and your teeth are chattering. Your teeth. Wait, why don't we give this bitch Stacy Sparkle the mic? She seems to have a lot of disagreements. Why don't we bring this fat whore on?
If you want to talk to Stacy, you can.
Somebody bring this giant 800-pound gargantuan whale that's melting into her fucking chair from all the spilled soda that's corroding her skin, melting her into the fucking chair. Bring her in. Let me talk to her.
I know people don't like it and people think it's gay, but I at the end of the day, I don't genuinely talk about shit I just don't know about. I'm not gonna make definitive statements and go down on my fucking sword. That's not gonna happen. That's not how I enter.
It's like, this guy's retarded. This guy starts. Queeman enters, like teeth chattering. All of a sudden, everybody miraculously fucking agrees. You're pussies.
Did I say you were retarded? I was combating what you were saying, and then Queeman comes in and gives a take that sounds. He disagreed with you, by the way, and he said shit that sounds reasonable to me. I don't know if it's all completely true. I don't know if it's all completely fair, but it sounds reasonable to me right now, and I don't have the information with me to be able to combat it. So why am I going to be like, wow, Queeman, I think what you're saying is bad. And he's going to ask me, okay, why do you think what I said is bad? And I'm going to say, oh, I don't know. My dick is in my hand right now. Is that what you want me to do, Aiden?
I want you to bring in Stacy Sparkle.
Dude, I'll bring in Stacy Sparkles if she wants, dude.
If she wants?
Well, am I gonna force her in here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll invite her into the fucking speakers, dude. That's all I can do, dude. Is this because of the group chat stuff, by the way?
No, I'm just sick of the safe disagreeers, okay? That's what I like to call you people. You guys sit here, you disagree if you think you're going to get the backing of the majority of people in the room, okay? But when somebody who, like...
I just want to point out, by the way, I'm normally the guy at the beginning disliking people, and I get a lot of shit before Nick eventually spouts what I said. And then people are like, wow, Alex is right all along.
You know, I am being unfair.
You two are like the same guy. You two are like the exact same guy. That's crazy. You and Aiden, like the same guy.
Hold on. Yeah, I just need to say, I am being a little bit unfair to you, Alex. Okay, I'm kind of venting.
I want an apology, dude.
You know what, Alex? I am sorry to you. I'm not sorry, though, to Stacy Sparkle. But I'll be sorry to you. And Smaggle Daggle, by the way, who doesn't have an opinion on anything, just to be clear.
So where's this going, guys?
Well, Stacy ran. Anyone who disagrees with me and then never elaborates, they always run.
Dickers, Lumpy Willie, and Poser want to call in. Should I let any of them in? I mean, I'll let Justical in. I'm not prepared to talk to him, but let him in. You know, I'll just let Lumpy Willie in too. Let all those guys in. I don't know.
Wait, let Poser in. I think Poser's pro-Israeli.
Oh, do you want to debate him about Palestine and Israel?
Well, I just want to hear what he has to say.
Wait, I do have something to say. It's very interesting how everybody in the RFC group chat who was calling for Queeman death, who was calling for Queeman to be excommunicated from the community, all of a sudden, when Queeman's on here, on the platform, ready to talk, nobody decides to come in and disagree with him.
I just think that's interesting, dude.
Same with me.
Name names.
And I just want to say...
We have the confusing opinion. Spondyle was in here. Notice when Queeman was talking, Spondyle was just all quiet here, taking it like a fucking bitch, dude. This guy...
Stacy, Lil Froakie, all of them.
Yeah, Lil Froakie too.
How long ago were these messages? Were these recent?
Yeah,
this was like a month ago.
They were talking shit about me and Queeman. They were talking shit about me and Queeman, and then somebody added me to the group chat, and then all of a sudden, everybody's just like... goes fucking silent and starts agreeing, and then I get kicked.
Fuck up, Jesus Christ! You are so fucking annoying. All right, anyway.
You're Jewish.
It's incredibly intimidating. I agree.
Let the other person speak. Not
wait, why are you here? Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I just came to ask. I heard it got mentioned in here with Hellbent. What was going on earlier?
I don't like either of you.
So you were inserting yourself into the drama, J-Stoke. You were desperately inserting yourself into the drama again.
I didn't say that.
You get no viewers.
That was Aiden, by the way.
That was Aiden who said that,
yeah. No.
Aiden. Okay. Oh, Aiden, now that J-Stock is in here, you're backing down.
I've said this to his face. Okay, I've said this to his face. Yes, obviously, the viewership decline happened after the Destiny stuff, and when he gets that good piece of Destiny content. I agree with Chud's statement. J-Stock's ringing the dinner bell for the audience to come back.
I wish I got a boost from Destiny content, to be honest, but...
No, I do. I have said this where I like J-Stock, but I feel like J-Stock has been framed by certain interested parties as like for some reason when people are addressing like the Queeman spicy chat side, it feels like J-Stock is like the first guy who's being name dropped, and I feel like he's not even like the main proponent of like any of this, so I don't understand why.
Yeah, I only get name dropped by people who are too cowardly to call out Queeman, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean.
100% of the time.
You just don't have any connections with like the rest of the community, right? So you're kind of like.
Well, I also just am confused how I could be inserting myself when my comment was literally that. Like, stop naming me, stop talking about me, actually talk about the person you're mad about.
That was my point. You're getting fucking name dropped, and you're not even like a proponent of like.
Since also, unless it's like excessive, like commentary is inserting yourself into a drama, giving your take about something that maybe you're not personally involved in, or if you are personally involved, then where's the insertion?
Wow, thank you, Dickers.
Huh? Alex?
He's real quiet, dude.
Wait, hold on. Is this Dick's enormous guy trying to call in?
Who?
Dick's enormous, bro.
We
I would
already
just
have
be
Dicky.
curious what the criticism was from earlier. Was there an actual criticism?
No, bring it. Oh, yeah, but I bring him in, by the way.
Is the host literally like asleep at the wheel? Is Alex there? Is he dead?
That wasn't
here.
a bad joke.
I'm
That's actually his
talking.
name.
What, Theodore Dick?
No, not Theodore Dick.
Okay, no one's requesting retard porn.
drunk-
Okay, actually, no, shut the fuck up. All right, I'm done. Listen, since Queen and Logistical are in here, I guess I don't. So, right now, are you on like Nick's blacklist right now or something? Because I've been seeing like
I don't
talking
know.
about this shit, but-
So
I think we're fine.
J-Stalk got blacklisted ages ago when he
Wow.
asked to talk to Nick, and then Nick decided he didn't want. To
which
talk
was
to him
that was the
anymore.
Willy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with me and Nick. Now, he did say at the end of the stream, I assume you saw the Hellbent stuff, right? Where she was coming into my chat and saying that Nick was manually timing out anyone that mentioned me or Chud. And then a bunch of people went over to Nick's chat, obviously, because of what Hellbent said, and started spamming my name and shit. So at the end of that stream, Nick was like, I'm gonna raid Augie, but after this, I don't think I'm raiding anyone ever again. So it seemed like to me, he took it a little personally and took maybe some of the criticisms I'd had on my stream a little personally. Now, I had spoken to Nick a while ago, and he had said basically, don't worry about people trying to stir drama, talk your shit. Don't worry about how I feel about stuff. Just talk your shit. So I assumed that relationship would be fine. But now I'm not so sure because he did seem a lot in his feelings at the end of that.
Are the criticisms like he's pro to Ethan and like what we were kind of talking about here?
Yeah, he's too pro Ethan. He's sort of, I think he's abandoned a lot of his principles that he probably would have claimed in like the careful stuff about not targeting platforms or communities for behaviors that you can't link back to them. Obviously, it was like a key part of like this was a huge thing in the Destiny Careful's manifesto, which I'm sure everyone was huge fans of around here when it happened. It was a very key part that you can't blame these like ancillary disparate communities for behavior that doesn't actually happen on those platforms. There's always going to be some fucking psycho that takes information that's from a clip chimp and uses it to go and call CPS or SWAT team or whatever. But you don't get to shut down the whole thing or like unless there's like some specific breaking of the TOS that's happening there, right? Or of morality if it's like a website on its own. And like he always said, if you want to take Kiwi Farms down for doxing, that's fine, but take it down for doxing. Don't come up with some other bullshit reason for why you're taking it down. And it feels the same with like Snark stuff, right? So Ethan's using the CPS call, the sword, the skulls, whatever, to take down this subreddit, take down these people that are clipping his content, when that's not really what his issue with them is. His issue with them is that they say things that are either bad faith or disagree with him.
Okay, just say you're a Hassan fan. Just say you're a Hassan fan.
I'm not a fan. I'm friends with Hassan. We know each other personally.
Oh, gross.
I mean that, like I've said it before. It all sounds reasonable to me. I don't know. I haven't heard you say it, so maybe you're extra mean. I guess.
Can we get a teeth chattering sound effect?
I'm obviously mean on my stream.
I mean, I'd be interested to hear, like I said it before, I'd be interested to hear Nick like respond to that kind of stuff. I think like I've seen him make tweets kind of saying like, oh, they'll find their next fucking target of the week or whatever.
He replied to a tweet about me saying, he'll find his next. Which is like,
I'd be interested to hear him have a convo with you, or any of that. But
if you've ever seen me cover someone, to suggest that Nick is my villain of the week right now or my target is like fucking absurd when I haven't even posted like a single segment about him on my channel. Like it's all just been here and there, like I'm covering something related and Nick comes up and it's like, okay, well obviously I think Nick's abandoning his principles there. I'm not gonna pretend otherwise.
Alright, let's be honest here. When you saw the Chud rant and he name dropped Nick, you were probably there kicking your feet with excitement. Let's be totally honest.
Yeah, because the narrative is set against me, and I know that I can utilize a bigger person saying it to try and push some of my talking points through, right? It gives me an opening to talk about it. Of course I'm sitting there kicking my feet.
Very tribe-like.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear a conversation between you two, to be honest. I don't know why he isn't doing that, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. I've always like whenever like a new Nick video comes out where it's like a hate video or whatever. Like when Alberto released his, I thought he should have watched it on stream. Like I think it's interesting to hear him always respond to that kind of stuff. I don't know why he's not doing it with you, especially because you guys have been like cool for a while. So it is interesting for him not to do that. I don't know what his reasons are though. But I'd like to hear that conversation. What you were saying in this space sounds like an interesting conversation to me. So I think he should do it.
I think Nick's just like uninterested in anything that's going to bring him any kind of like negative attention, or that he feels like he could, kind of receive hate for, like the Cameron stuff recently. I mean, I know it's like club show drama, like nothing, but like, I mean, there's been some interesting stuff, and I think he's been pretty explicit that he doesn't want to cover it at all because there has been like a narrative circulating that he's like supportive of the guy because you like watch his video on stream. I mean, I don't know if you, but I felt bad when I put out a tweet, like talking about how Cameron was using Nick's name like in private, like behind the scenes, to like shout down other smaller commentary creators, and I felt bad watching the Nick clip because it felt as though he was like forced to respond to it, and I'd kind of like put him in an awkward position. But realistically, like surely that should have been like happy or like just fine with like talking about it. But I think he just sees it as a topic that he could talk about and then kind of like give fuel to the hate against him or something like that, which is a little bit too optics kind of concerned in the wrong way to like stop coverage or to not cover things that I don't know.
I don't know what you just said, but yeah, I think Queeman. I think you should talk to Queeman. I don't know. Even if Queeman was like extra mean to him, Queeman obviously has points behind him. He's not just like fatty bad. So you should talk to him.
Doesn't this Queeman guy like Lolicon? Why are we defending him?
True, dude.
True. So true. This guy's a pedophile or something. Well, I mean, Augie likes Lolly now, so it's
yeah, that's true. That's cool. That's cool in the RFC community now.
Alex likes Lolly. Spondyle likes Lolly.
Sure, dude. The community's fine with it now. We're all good,
bro. Except for me, because I'm the last one standing.
You're not part of it, dude.
Shut the fuck up, Alex. Alex, you're a Lolly lover, and I think you should die.
It's true.
Okay, somebody told me that I was like mentioned at the start of this, so I decided to show up and just see if somebody had criticisms. But I feel like
it was just me saying I don't like you.
I like
just that.
That was it. You just started this saying you don't like me.
Well, I started it saying I don't like Hellbent.
And you, because you're the two easiest targets.
No, I just want the criticism. You just said
we had the conversation.
He doesn't
right?
just say fatty bad. So what's the actual criticism?
I had the conversation with you. It's the same stuff with that, and I just generally don't.
You had no criticism there either.
I did have criticism. If you go back and listen to
no, you didn't. You just stuttered through it.
Like,
you embarrassed yourself.
I had a guy.
If you're gonna do
hold on, wait. I had a guy there whose only purpose for being there was to cut me off every single time I fucking was about to say something, and then. You go on,
so and did you like, say your criticism, or could you not get it out?
I can't say it now. I don't have this. It's been like 3 or 2 months now. I don't have everything in my mind.
It's the same criticism as before, but you can't say
it's the same criticism as before, but just like before, when I didn't have all the clips and tweets and shit ready to just spam to you, you're just gonna say nope, that's not true. And then what am I supposed to do? I'm sitting here with my dick in my hand.
Well, Alex, you can just search up on Twitter. It's very easy.
Or just kind of recall kind of what you were critical of at the time, right?
I did that before and it didn't work out.
It's like a live conversation, you know?
No. I don't. The conversation's not going to have any value because I'm not ready, and I'm not particularly interested in having that conversation.
Just like one thing.
No, because one thing turns into a million. I'm not interested in that.
No. I think Hitler said something like that. One thing turns into like.
Yeah, I'm quoting him directly, actually.
I agree.
I mean, the thing is as well, like I'm not even like hungry for Nick's blood. I don't know if that's what you think that I'm coming in here with. I just feel like there does seem to be on, I guess, like your side of commentary, like a reticence to like criticize each other or to have like friendly disagreements or disagreements at all.
Well, I mean, Nick, people debate all the time. I don't know why he's not talking to Queeman. I don't know why. And I agree.
Keep on obfuscating it to him talking to Queeman.
What do you mean? What do you mean obfuscating? I think he should address whatever's being said to him, right?
Yeah, but every time that you have to consider something and maybe give an uncomfortable answer, you just say, "Well, you know, he should speak to Queeman."
I'm not Nick. and I'm not like
I
heavily
was
informed
criticizing
on any
you
of
just
these
though,
dramas.
not Nick.
The criticism is what's the criticism of it?
That your side of commentary doesn't give criticisms to each other because it seems as though you guys can't handle like friendly disagreements.
That's like completely not true, by the way. Like,
Well, we can
at
argue
least for
that
me,
fact, can't
I've argued with Tipster, Flamenco, Bo Blacks, fucking. If you
Oh,
go way back into my
community.
history, I was arguing with
Oh,
Paradise,
all
who
the
was like
people have been totally
who was a community nobody. What'd you say?
I mean, you just listing all the people who've been like raped and like
Where do you think it's
exiled from the community.
Yeah, where do you think it
Tipster,
started? I'm
Bo
not saying
Blacks.
I'm the reason they went down, but I was definitely saying I was going against all those people way before Nick was making tweets about it, right?
Yeah, but the problem is, I'm saying that
There was not
people
a like
are giving
the whole
friendly
narrative of like,
criticism
oh, this is like
are
a
people who ended
this,
up getting like completely raped and killed.
I mean, it starts out with friendly criticisms. If you go back to with Bo Blacks, I think one of my first critical tweets of him is saying, "Hey, I don't think he should have been in that Mr. Girl call because he was being a complete ape." Right? He was, and that was like what 2-3 years ago at this point.
That's not criticism.
That is criticism. He was
No,
acting
it's
like a
not.
child, and he shouldn't have been in it.
Who?
Bo Blacks.
Oh yeah. Never each
People don't just get the whole like narrative that like people just get like fucking molested instantly is like completely not true. Like, normally,
that's not what I was talking about at all. The problem is you either give the lightest criticism, like, oh, you shouldn't have been in that call, dude. You were like, freaking out. You weren't prepared for that environment, man. It's like, no, like, criticize a take they've given on the substance. Like, me and Aiden have debated about his take about AFPAC. Me and Queeman have debated about our takes on like different drama. And at the end of the
APAC,
day,
to be
we can
clear.
still chill and fine. What did I say?
He said AFPAC. That's
AFPAC.
Fuentes' thing. I didn't want anyone to think you supported.
But yeah.
no, Aiden supports that.
He's a big fan.
He does.
So your criticism of me is that we don't criticize each other in the community.
Well, I mean,
True.
yeah,
And
the basis
that's the
of that
criticism of
is
me?
like you've just been asked for like, oh, okay, so what are you personally like critical about Nick about over this? And you can't give anything. You just say, well, Nick should talk to Queen.
Isn't the criticism in itself that he should talk to Queeman and he should address what Queeman's saying? Doesn't that kind of wrap all of it up into like one big bow tie?
No.
I've said repeatedly that I haven't kept up with the H3 situation in months at this point, so I don't have specific criticisms of him because I don't watch his coverage.
Yeah, but
it seems like Queeman does. So I'm saying he should talk to
an hour
Queeman.
now, like 2 hours. Like, is there anything that's like particularly resonated that you think is like apt criticism? Like,
Everything
one
that
thing-
Queeman said sounded completely reasonable to me, and I would like to see
Everything.
Nick respond to it. Yes, everything. Queeman didn't come in here and say Nick is a fucking pedophile, loving fucking
Zionist.
kid murderer, Zionist. He's saying, yeah, I think Nick is not living up to like what he said in the past. I think he's given up on some of his principles. Here are some examples of where I think he has, and I think those are all completely reasonable criticisms that I'd like to see Nick respond to.
Yeah,
Am I supposed to list off every single thing Queeman said in the fucking 2-hour call? I don't watch Nick's coverage, so I can't disagree with anything because I don't know what Nick has said specifically.
True.
I don't like this is a bit of a theme with me. I don't tend to like make definitive
Give
statements
opinions.
I don't give opinions on things I don't know about.
Yeah, I actually want to be fair. I've been a little unfair to Alex. We're kind of lumping in the whole RFC community with Alex here, but I just do find it funny that there is nobody in this community, miraculously, that has a disagreement with Queeman now.
Aiden, can you please shut the fuck up?
Okay, can you give me an opinion on something? Can you give me an
Aiden,
opinion on
please.
something?
Is this
all
just
of you-
the given opinion space? and
Just give me
fucking-
no wait.
Aiden, you have just
Wait,
been fucking
no,
annoying.
wait,
You've just been an annoying little
I'm about
faggot.
to-
That's all
wait,
you've been doing.
wait, I'm
You've
about
just
to-
been
hold
an
on.
annoying faggot.
Can you give me an
You've been
opinion
an
you have on anything? Can you give me like
Hey,
just one
Aiden,
opinion?
Aiden,
Give me an opinion on something.
What do you want? What do you
Just
want?
give me
His
an
is
opinion.
that Queeman is reasonable and
Give me an
fair,
opinion.
and
I
I
should
think
talk to
he's
Queeman.
been mostly reasonable about this stuff, and I do agree with that.
Oh, okay.
In fact,
that's
I would
good.
be more on Queeman's side, honestly, and I think someone like Nick or the commentary community shouldn't be discussing on these issues like Israel and Palestine, because a lot of them, they don't really research into any of these subjects. I don't think fucking, and I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't think any of these people are like
Just because
fucking
I don't
smart.
even think Nick shouldn't talk about Israel Palestine. Like at the end of the day, Asmongold is the biggest political commentator right now, so the standards.
Yeah, and
are
he
in the
doesn't.
top
Yeah, and he
pitch.
doesn't shower. So
So I don't think Nick shouldn't talk about it, but I think Nick should engage honestly in the players' principles.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. And whenever I'm just like watching his streams or whatever, whenever he's just talking about like anti-Semitism or Zionist stuff, I don't, it always just makes me fucking roll my eyes, and I'm just always like, you don't even, study anything about this stuff. You don't give a fuck. Yeah, don't act like that. You know about this fucking shit. Like you can talk about, you can talk about there are many criticisms to give about the IDF. There are many criticisms to give about fucking Palestine, and and I could, I could also just talk about how, like, in Zionists in the Middle East, it usually just refers to Jew, while in America we don't really, we see it as mostly two different things. And I don't think, Nick doesn't, he doesn't fact check, he doesn't clarify, and he, just blindly defends H3, even though just a couple of years ago, Ethan has done like a bunch of fucked up shit, and I just don't really fucking. I would say that I agree with Queeman more, and I don't think Nick should even talk about this stuff.
Wow, dude. Thanks for the opinion.
I just wonder if anybody who's like specifying that opinion, where they just love all of Queeman's opinions, if they've ever like gone to Twitter and shit on Queeman or boosted Nick's opinions.
Most of these people don't shit on me. But Alex is Alex is great. Okay, we love Alex here.
True.
I don't.
What was sort of if it was like we're sort of bouncing around, what was the premise of the State of the Community address here today, Alex? Where was this heading?
Do you want to know? All right, I'll tell you where it started. I saw a clip on Twitter where Hellbent was being a double agent to you, and then I saw Discord messages of Nick saying, "Yeah, my mod was sending these screenshots." And I don't like Hellbent, so I started this space to say I don't like Hellbent.
A double agent?
Yeah.
What a hero.
Are we gonna pick apart every single thing I said? She's mods in both chats, and then said, "Hey, Nick is timing people out." That's what I mean when I say double agent. Do you want me to like fucking define every word I say?
Yeah, but
Alex,
the way that you
pedophile,
talk about
so,
it kind of insinuates that like they're two opposing sides of something. It's not that deep.
My bad, Dickers.
That's alright, Alex. I love Hellbent. Unequivocal support for Hellbent. Why do you hate Hellbent, Alex?
Cringe. Holy cringe.
I mean, he's right. She was being like a little bit. I even think I said verbatim double agent. I think Alex is like kind of skinwalking with that one.
Yeah, I'm skinwalking again with that one.
I love Hellbent too, but she doesn't participate in my chatter community. She just helps me out in like with random art stuff. So maybe if I had her participating in chat, I'd have a different opinion. I don't know.
All right, I gotta go, but I just want to remember that fat bitch, Stacy Sparkle, never called in. Die.
Fantastic.
I agree.
W.
Actually add a new item onto the agenda for the State of the Commentary community. I would like to suggest
my bad. I actually
we actually discuss why the commentary community appears to be about not stating opinions. Because that's like primarily what I've seen in this space so far. It's just people not stating opinions
that I don't follow.
No, we're like, Queen asked what this is about. You said it's just about Hellbent. That's not what the title is. I'm just like wondering why nobody in the commentary community actually states out opinions on things.
I'm sorry for clickbaiting you.
Well, I mean, I think the problem is that I kind of lightly prod Alex as well by saying, like, I love Hellbent. What's wrong with Hellbrand? And he just says, that's cringe. Like, even on an incredibly popular opinion that, like, 99% of people in the space will agree with.
I didn't know it was a popular opinion.
And he doesn't even, like, substantiate it
I just don't like it.
beneath the surface. And there's nothing.
To be fair, Dickers, it's not, like, that broad, because Nick's community are just like, oh, Hellbent makes the Wigglers. That's awesome.
Dude, I said I don't like Hellbent in the Nick server.
Oh,
I got like 50 replies saying that I'm like a dick-sucking fucking loser. Like this whole thing where it's like I just go with the popular opinion. I don't think you. If I was going with the popular opinion, wouldn't have I just like blanketly agreed with like anyone pressing me in this space? I don't have a strong opinion on anything mentioned, so why am I gonna fucking fall on my sword? That's retarded.
Do you have a strong opinion on anything?
True. I mean, do you want me to be honest? I haven't really followed the community in years. Like, I don't watch content. I'm in the RFC group chat, and I kind of like the people around here. But but I don't like. I'm not super into like the drama at this point anymore. I follow like. Why do you think my whole account is like 80% Boblack? Because it's like the only story in the past 2 years that's caught me.
It's just bullshit.
I'm not like a commentary creator. I don't like watch people. I don't watch many people. Like even with Augie, I don't even like the RFC show. I like Augie more as like a fucking like variety streamer than as like a commentary YouTuber. Right, Dickers?
Too right.
I'm getting lumped in with the RFC community, which I mean that's fine. I guess like
Well,
like
I'm not,
to most people, I
in,
might be. I'm like kind of. I'm like at the head of there, I guess.
Chat, right?
Yeah, I am in the RFC
this
community.
This space is titled
and
State of the Commentary Community Address.
Yep.
But you claim you're not
That's
part of
true.
the commentary
You're having
community.
the same complaint as J-Sub right now. You got clickbaited, bro. Stop saying it.
Like-
Okay,
it's
come
like-
up with either. You and
I like
J-Sub
government.
being so gay. I'm not gonna lie. This. Just state an opinion. Just state an opinion. Come up with a topic and ask for an opinion, retard. If you want
I
an opinion-
did!
I did. Like
I did!
Like, can I? Well, let me tell
What's
you.
your
like,
opinion on the state of the commentary community right now, Dickers? Give us some thoughts. Give us some hot takes on the state of the commentary community right now.
I will say,
You're a
okay,
speaker.
I will say, I'm basically Yugoslavia, okay? I'm right in the middle of this. I am perhaps
Wow,
going to
nice.
say
So
So you've got no
okay?
opinion, you fucking
But I'm
idiot.
attaching
Why
on
don't you
the
give a
fence.
take on
It's
fucking
opinion
any
about
both
not
sides
stating
from the
opinions.
fence,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
I
Dickers,
feel
you
like-
joined
I
the
feel like
joined the
church
fucking
Queeman
space called the
community,
State of the
okay,
Commentary
can
Community.
be
You're
a
not
little
going to give a
bit too
take.
harsh sometimes. We're losing the ground for reasonable, friendly disagreement, okay? It's getting, sometimes it gets a little bit too hot and people get raped, undeservedly raped, okay? Unfortunately, there's nothing to really criticize on the RFC side because there's just like no internal debate.
Not true. I am the internal debate, but only
You
on
just said
shit
you
that I
had no
know
opinions.
about. Give me something to have in it.
Oh my
Throw any number of.
You say
Am
you
I
don't even
supposed
follow
to
the community.
Okay, Dick.
Fuck you gonna
Dickers, what you're asking me right now.
Anything. You don't
Dickers,
follow
what you're
anything.
asking me right
The
now
only
to
thing
have a
that's captured
list
your
of
opinion
like specified
is
topics I can
Bo
talk
Black's
about. All right, you know what,
wearing a
Dickers?
fucking
Dickers,
dress.
ask me about Paradise. Ask me about Paradise, Dickers. I'll give you a take on Paradise. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What am I supposed to let? Like, I don't watch every single thing that goes on in this community. And what you're saying right now is, since I said that, I'm like just giving like a fucking, like I can't have a take on anything ever, or I never have a take on anything ever, which isn't true. I just don't follow this as close. On what? We've been talking about
Okay, what was the last
We've been talking about
time that you
fucking
had,
H3
like,
H3 for like 2 hours, and I didn't follow the
you
story super
communicated
hard.
inside the community. I mean, I'm trying to be fucking easy on you. I'm trying to be light and light touch.
Do you want me to?
Talking generally
I'll
about
give
the
you.
RFC community. You complained a second ago that you're being lumped in with the RFC community. I've said fair play, and now you want to attack
Well,
me.
you didn't let
over
me
characterizing the RFC
finish that
community.
statement. I was
So
gonna
go
say
ahead.
that.
What was the last thing you had like a
I was
big
gonna say that was
discussion
kind
over?
of. Well, I think Monica is way better than the fucking Yuki and what's it, Natsuka. I don't think those are good girls. I think Monica's
You
way
busted
better than
them,
all
bro.
of them.
You literally said you
So
busted.
that was a big disagreement. Like, what? You just want me to list like any opinion I've ever had?
I wasn't
can't-
even talking about you.
I couldn't even
I was
think
talking
of
about
anything
Church
right
Queeman
now.
group and doing the RFC group. There doesn't seem to be like kind of vociferous internal debate. And then you stepped
Well,
up
a lot
to
of
say, yes,
a lot
there is.
a lot of us don't really
Actually,
interact
it's our
with each
fucking
other.
lolly waifus. I like this lolly waifu.
Dude.
And
Yeah, that's what I do,
He
That's
must
what I
like
do.
Shishuka.
I don't know if you know this, but Augie hasn't really streamed in like fucking years. So like, there's not.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I threw out Augie
the
just
whole
a
the
bit ago,
community,
but, yeah.
the RFC community, is people who like found Augie when they were in like fucking freshmen in high school, like fucking 5 years ago, and I've just like generally liked him since then.
Mine was
Like that. That's the RFC community.
Okay.
Like, what do I disagree with people on? I don't know. I thought it was cringe when they were shitting on Aiden in the group chat, and then when he got added, that they like fucking like threw a fit. And if you go to me and Aiden's DMs, I literally like tell him that, and I said that in the group chat. I think I made a tweet saying they were cowards. So is that a disagreement, or is that not enough? Is that like fucking blackballing behavior?
You take it quite personally, despite already conceding you don't really give
Well-
takes on drama. I don't know why you're trying to
Well,
fight me on this.
You're
If you
saying
admit you
you're
don't give
saying
takes on drama,
I don't give takes on drama that I don't know about, which tends to be
which
most
is
of them
nothing
at
over the
this
last 2
point in
years
time.
apparently, except for Bo Black's wearing a dress.
Well, my issues with Bo Black go way deeper, alright? It's that he's trans, not just that he wears a
You
dress.
slob him.
It's just, like you've come in here with just like a general idea of me, and then you don't have like you're just like saying shit, and it's like okay, it's just what am I supposed to like? What am I supposed to respond to?
I mean, I'm trying to find out what you even think.
I'm having a problem
about the RFC community, and then you decide to take that personally,
which is the community I kind of align with.
Kind of aligned with. I mean, if you don't think my critique applies to the general community, then fight me on the
okay.
What talking about whether you had internal disagreements.
I probably agree with your take that like most people in the community. I would agree that like most people in the community are sheep. I think I made a tweet recently saying that. That's true.
So you even agree with me on that?
What, am I supposed to disagree with you on that?
Agree or disagree?
I'm
disagree with me.
I'm just so I'm confused what the problem here.
I can tell.
I am confused. It just seems like I don't even know where it's like coming from. I don't like in my brain I can't even visualize what is happening right now. I can't the argument doesn't make sense to me. And I say, okay, what's the argument?
I laid out quite clearly.
Oh, well, yeah, your argument.
The church and the Queeman space has fractious disagreement between itself, but sometimes it can spill out, and there isn't room for friendly disagreement sometimes. And then your space has very, very little to no disagreement in between, like, obviously on drama topics. I don't care who your fucking waifu is.
I mean, does Nick calling into RFC and fucking debating about Willie, does that count, or is that one too?
Still, dude, if you agree that everyone's a sheep, why even try and fight me on that? You can just say, yeah, true.
The people the general retards in the audience, yes, but I don't think that's true for the creators.
Obviously, I'm talking about creators.
Well, there's like two creators. It's Nick and Augie. Who else is there? It's fucking Connor. Internet versus. Like, bro, the community is dead.
There's no Willie Slackjaw.
Well, I like Willie, so I'm not gonna shit on him. But I mean, he doesn't even really interact with like this at all. Really,
he's normal.
He's number one guy.
Well, you don't like Willie, dude?
He's top guy.
Is it because of the fucking Destiny video?
No, it's because of all of his videos.
Do you think they're too broad and like not
I think they're
like slop content?
Like yeah, pure slop. Every Hassan video is a pure rip of our Destiny.
You're gay.
The Destiny video was like lame as fuck, obviously. Even the second Destiny video was kind of mid. And he's also a complete absolute. You know, sorry, I'm getting a fucking dono. I'm streaming right now. Sorry, 1 second.
Fuck, dude.
Okay, so this fucking guy. Oh no, right. This is what Willie argues. Jay Stalk and Queeman should thank me for putting Destiny's death threat against them in my video, because that gave them a warning. He didn't tell us about it. He didn't say that weeks ago, before he posted that video, hey, I was in a private call with Destiny, and he started saying he wants to fucking kill you in real life. But then he says, you should be grateful for me putting this in my video. What sort of fucking retarded logic is that? What sense does that make?
And in the second video, he follows up.
That was in the second video?
Well, to be fair, I kind of hate these guys as well. They're kind of fucking retards.
Like him, yeah. Because actually, basically, he's getting death threats. By the way, it's really terrible that Sean DeBlack and Mike from PA make jokes about putting hits out on Destiny. That's really terrible. It's really bad that they're attacking Destiny's life like that.
Now, will Alex try and argue back, or will he just concede to the argument? Let's see.
I'm gonna make Dickers really mad here. I didn't watch the second video. So sorry about that one, Dickers. It seems like I'm gonna go with the latter here. I mean, with general regards with Willie, I've liked Willie for a long time, but I think like fucking like a baker's dozen videos on Hassan is kind of like I kind of stopped watching him after all that because I think the topic's really boring, and I mean it's shit like I already saw Destiny say. So I mean like yeah, I mean they're kind of like DGG clips best moments videos, I guess. But I don't think that necessarily makes them bad. They're just not for this audience, I don't think. Do you think that's fair, or do you think that's like completely fucking retarded? We don't criticize each other.
I mean, like criticism before? I don't know. It seems like you only give criticism when you're actually prompted.
My bad. Is that not how criticism works?
Well,
am I supposed? Do you want me?
Joining on a bandwagon, or like conceding to like the weakest form of a critique.
That's all I do, dude. I'm Mr. Bandwagon over here. Like this fucking this criticism is like just complete nonsense. It's just like you asked me to give a take, and then when I give a take, you say, "Oh, well, it just sounds like you're disagreeing with us." It's like, oh yeah,
you just agreed with Queeman's take.
I laid out why I think that. I didn't repeat what Queeman said. I literally like gave an example of like why I think that. But yeah, dude, this is just like complete. It's just fucking retarded. What to take you up, Dickers? What do you think? What do you think, Dickers? Give me your take, dude.
On the Willie Mac stuff?
No, on everything, dude.
Okay.
Give me a take.
I love Tatsiki-san.
Sure, dude. You see how retarded that is? Just like going up to someone and saying, "Give me a take." Like it's fucking.
Well, no, I said on the like Willie Mac stuff, and you said no, and now you want my take on everything. I said I wanted your take on anything.
I've given like several takes here, and it's just like a completely like non-argument. I don't know.
Okay, well I do have a different take on the Willie Mac stuff. I think the video is generally fine. He does have some kind of like, he does have some errors. He could have phrased stuff better, but realistically, video essayists get like very, very little charity compared to live streamers.
You know his latest video on the iDub stuff or whatever it is, Ethan saw on Destiny shit. His latest video, he mentioned the Nazi sword 22 times. Are we aware of this?
22. I mean, if it was like 21, that'd be something, but like 22, bro.
You can disagree with his arguments being retarded and like driven by the community, but in terms of like factuality and how he then chooses to present stuff, I think that it's like I'm talking specifically about the Destiny stuff. I didn't actually watch his iDubbbz video, but yeah, I mean that's my take.
Isn't that
from the
what the
DGG
criticism of
with like
ex-DGG sphere
or ex-Twitch Ball sphere? When realistically, I think that like Willie Mac does not have the kind of intimate knowledge that a lot of other people just kind of take for granted. There we are. That's how you do it.
That's true as well.
Differing opinion.
That's true as well, dude. It doesn't go against what I said at all. I said his videos are for a different audience, and they're generally broader, which is true, which is what you just said.
I feel like you see like a large amount of animosity from me, Alex. It's not.
Well, if you go to my profile and you look at the pinned tweet, it says, "Anytime I'm arguing with anyone, I am mad. I do care, and I am like mad about it or whatever." That's what's going on here. True. You are retarded. I don't have any animosity towards you, Dickers. Actually, I was disappointed when Cameron kicked you out of the call, because Cameron got real happy after that, and I didn't like that. But
anytime that man is happy, I'm sad.
Yeah,
I'm viscerally angry.
I don't know. I guess like I don't know where else this is going. This kind of, but I do think like I guess the major topic here is Nick, and I mean. I guess if Nick's not going to talk to you, I would prefer if he gave a reason why. So like I can criticize that or agree with that. So I guess that's where I'm kind of at with there. Everything you said in this call, specifically Queeman, sounded reasonable to me. I mean, it's shit that makes sense like in my head. So I'd be curious to see what his problem with what you're saying is, besides you being like mean or something.
All right, awesome. Well, I mean, I'm gonna probably bounce out of it now since this is wrapping up. So
yeah.
Alright, good to go.
See ya, bro. And Dickers, listen, bro. You really upset me, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna still follow you, okay? Because I think you're a bright young man, and I think you're up and coming. I think you missed me. I think you missed with me, but I think your other shots have potential. So I'm gonna let this one slide, okay?
You're gonna leave me unbruised.
I'm not gonna set my sights on you as the commentary reaper, which, all right. Actually, I like my other title, the retarded one guy. I think that one fits me more, but I don't know.
Okay.
I disagree with you saying I don't give takes on shit I don't fucking know, which is like a lot of it, which is what I was saying. But that's kind of it. Poser, I'm disappointed you didn't debate Aiden on Israel and Palestine, because
Israel and Palestine.
You get real heated with me with the Israel and Palestine, but you didn't bring that.
Israel, yeah. I'm kind of tired of this shit, bro. My former internet group fucking They stopped being friends with me because I said Israel's in the right.
Domino?
No, not Domino. No, Domino doesn't fucking care. He pretends to be like Jewish.
All right.
It's just like some retarded Spider-Man YouTuber who's like black.
That's cool, dude. How do I kick you from speakers? All right, guys. These spaces these spaces kind of get out of hand. Like 1 out of every 10 times I do them. This one kind of got there. Listen. Unfortunately, I am not all-knowing. I don't know everything. I'm not gonna like land on my sword and fucking cry and like go down kicking with a take that I don't have. Right? That's retarded. I guess that's kind of where like the conversation went. I don't know. I think cool call. I think that went fairly well. I don't think there was like, I mean, besides people getting mad that I didn't talk to Justico about shit that like. Not gonna talk to him about. It would be retarded to like I already did it once, right? So I think besides that, I think it was kind of a cool conversation. I liked hearing like what Queeman and Justico and what all of them thought about Diorio, because even if listen, I do have the Diorio follow, but I think he can be criticized, and I'd be curious to hear why, or like he wouldn't talk to Queeman or whatever. All right, and if he's not gonna talk to Queeman, I'd like to hear him address at least some of the arguments. Because to me, they sounded reasonable. I guess people can say I'm a dick suck for that, but they sounded reasonable to me. And I don't know. I think nipping them in the bud if they're like retarded is like a good move anyways. So I think you should do that. I think the most important takeaway from the space though is this. Fuck Hellbent. All right? Hellbent? She's gone, dude. We are never letting Hellbent back in. And listen, that's just a good thing. We don't like Hellbent. I think that's about it. I think that's it. I appreciate everyone listening to this. You know, shout out to fucking Tay, dude. Shout out to Quantum Blue Box, alright? But see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.